Man United have officially confirmed it. Wan Bissaka has joined Manchester United on a long-term contract. Wan Bissaka, who is 21, becomes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second major summer signing behind fellow 21-year-old Dan James from Swansea City. And Man United fans are absolutely buzzing because we've solved a key problem in this squad. We've got an actual right-back who can play at right-back. And we all know plenty about Wan Bissaka, but what about his style? What about Wan Bissaka as a person? What advice would other players give him on what is his big move? Maybe what problems or struggles he could have at the start of his United career that he needs to get over. I'm going to run through all of that today, offer a bit more insight into who Wan Bissaka is as a person, so we can all understand United's new signing a little bit more. Now, before we do get into it, if you are new to United People's TV, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell. If you're a regular, drop a like on the video. Let's talk about Wan Bissaka. Starting off by taking a look at Wan Bissaka's actual style of play. If you haven't seen anything of him last season, there's an excellent compilation video made by Kaizo Films. There's a card that's popping up here. Go and watch that, 12-13 minutes. It'll really show you about Wan Bissaka and what he's all about. He's certainly not all about defending, but it's certainly where he is strongest. And he's going to add so much to the right flank of Manchester United. Hopefully both in defence and attack, but certainly in defence as well. Those numbers are staggering. Most tackles, most interceptions. He's known as the Spider because he's got apparently long legs. I don't know, that's a bit of a stupid nickname. Sorry, Aaron. But anyway, he will be fantastic on that right-hand side in comparison to what United have had for years. Because you imagine the left-hand side where United's always been attacking. Luke Shaw, Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial. We rarely had a threat down the right for some time. And Wan Bissaka can come and change that. And I'm excited to see how much he can change United going forward, that he can change United in defence. Because defensively, I think Wan Bissaka is going to be sound. Straight away, he's Premier League proven. He's had a season with Crystal Palace. I don't think he'll struggle with that. Maybe the fact that United's defence is not as disciplined as Crystal Palace and you find yourself out of position a little bit more, potentially. But he's got that explosive pace to cover himself. I'm interested to see what he can do going forward. And I'm pretty sure that at United, he'll get more of an expansive formation. Runners into the box. He'll get more key chance opportunities. He'll get more key pass opportunities. I think Wan Bissaka is going to be a much better player going forward than everybody thinks he will be at United. And I am really excited to see how much he can change the width of this United team, the predictability of this United team going forward, because without that right flank threat, we've been very, very tepid going forward. Predictable. Players and teams know that we can't really attack down the right, so it's going to be middle or left. So you can double up over there. Wan Bissaka, he can change that. And if he can combine that with top draw defending, which he's already got, he's going to transform that right wing. Almost single-handedly, but then throw Dan James into it and maybe another right wing signing if Solskjaer gets what he wants. Looking a lot better for next season. But what sort of person is Wan Bissaka behind the scenes? This little snippet from Wilfried Zaha offers a bit of insight into his character.
Unless you speak to him, he will not say a word. Like, literally, he's in the change room quiet, but he does his speaking on the pitch, really, and I think that's why everyone likes him. He doesn't really chirp up much. He just comes in, does what he has to do, plays his game, plays well, and just goes home, really.
So it really sounds like Wan Bissaka is a no-frills style footballer. More like Dennis Irwin used to be, I suppose. It might sound a bit Brexit, but United need those sorts of characters. Those players who the manager can trust every single week to put in a 7 out of 10 performance. Sometimes even better, but always a consistent base level. And Solskjaer, Mourinho and Van Gaal and Moyes had so many players that they couldn't really trust. And Wan Bissaka strikes me as a player who Solskjaer will and can and has trusted by buying him. I feel that's a major reason why Solskjaer wanted him so much. He saw a lot of characteristics in Wan Bissaka that he wants in his new signings. Because too many of United's players, modern players, are distracted by off-the-pitch activities. And I'm not against it. It's the modern game. It's the modern footballer. I think anybody who slams Jesse Lingard, I might do a video on Jesse Lingard soon, defending him, because he's getting... Anyway, that's something different altogether. But I know that that's the modern day footballer. But Wan Bissaka strikes me as somebody who can balance that and not let it affect him on the pitch too much. And that's something United desperately needs. And Solskjaer, he wants players he can trust, but players that he can develop as well. Dan James, 21. Wan Bissaka, 21. Getting linked with Sean Longstaff. Don't know much about him, but he's also 21. He wants to bring this young core back into United, players that can develop and become better players at United. And after years of signing established big names for big money and watching them largely fail, I'm all up for trying something different. And if Solskjaer trusts this is the way, then I trust it too. He does need help, needs a director of football, needs more support. But I can see the long-term thinking in Solskjaer's plans. But of course, on the flip side, when it comes to young players, maybe they don't have the experience, maybe they can struggle. So what maybe could Wan Bissaka struggle with at the start of his United career? The BBC's David Ornstein, who transferred from Arsenal to United this summer because Arsenal aren't doing any transfer activity, is too busy announcing United signings. Ornstein has had a bit to say about him.
The only risk is that he's still relatively new to first-team football. That last season was his first. He's only been, when I say only, but he's been playing at Crystal Palace, and he'll be now moving to one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he'll have little time to adapt. He'll be their first choice right back, expected to hit the ground running. And this saga, despite everybody I speak to saying he's a wonderfully level-headed boy, very down-to-earth, very calm, and that he would cope with the move to Manchester United or City, who were interested at one point in the process, perfectly well. He didn't cope too well at the Euro Under-21 Championships because of the speculation around the move. And I was told that his head's not in a good place. Well, he's going to have to clearly get it right for Manchester United.
Now, I think David's got a fair point there in that, Wan Bissaka won't have too much time to adapt. He will be expected to come in and improve United's starting 11 straight away, and I think he will. But there is a degree of familiarity there. He's had a season in the Premier League. It's not like expecting Diogo Dalot, for example, from last year to come in and make a big difference straight away. I think Wan Bissaka's got a good foundation that he can build on. But nobody really knows whether he's going to be able to cope with it or not until he does it. But again, this is all down to the characteristics of the individual. He seems like a hard worker. That's what he's got, his opportunities so far. That's what's earned him this move to United. And he doesn't strike me as a player that's going to be too fazed by it. But on the other hand, as David pointed out there as well, he was phased at the under-21s when the speculation was going on. But I don't think it's fair to have a go at him for that. In his head, he's a 21-year-old kid come through Crystal Palace's academy who's about to move to United, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Of course, his head's not going to be in the right place, not when the speculation's going on. And every single player, basically apart from Phil Foden, was terrible at the under-21s anyway. So I'm not going to have a go at him too much for that. But it is fair from David Ornstein to but to point out that maybe temper expectations at the start of Wan Bissaka. Don't expect him to come in, make 99% of his tackles straight away. He will make mistakes. But we know the Old Trafford crowd, they'll be behind Wan Bissaka. They'll support Wan Bissaka. And I think that once he realises that's the environment, he'll flourish at United. Of course, it's going to be a big culture shock, a big change for Wan Bissaka, moving from Selhurst Park in London up to Old Trafford and Manchester. It's a massive shift in his life, and there's going to be plenty of players around him who are going to give him advice on it at United with Solskjaer as well. But Wayne Rooney had a few words to say about Wan Bissaka in terms of the advice that he would give him.
Enjoy it, play with no fear. It's Manchester United is a fantastic club, one of, if not the best, football clubs in the world, and you have to embrace it and embrace the culture of Manchester United, learn the history, and go and do your best. And I'm sure if he does that, he'll be fine. And I'm sure the coaches there will be telling him all this.
That point there that Rooney made about just enjoy it, play with no fear. I think that's exactly why Solskjaer is buying young players, because young players play with a degree of naivety. Sometimes it comes back to haunt them, but United have lost that fear factor because we haven't been playing. We've been playing with fear, not without it. We've been restrained in the last few years under Mourinho, under Van Gaal, and rarely have we let loose. We did at the start under Solskjaer, then the reins went back on because the players weren't fit enough. That should change next season, and signings like Dan James and Aaron Wan Bissaka will help implement that change. And it is properly a case of playing with no fear, because when United play with no fear, that's when we play our best. And Wayne Rooney is a player who's United great, so Wan Bissaka certainly could heed some advice from him. And in terms of embracing the culture and the history of the club, I think that's a big thing that a lot of United signings haven't done since Fergie retired. I think Ander Herrera is a prime example of when a player properly does embrace the culture, absorbs himself in being a United player on and off the pitch, And the fans responded. He was a fan favourite before he left on a free to PSG. I think Wan Bissaka will do that, will embrace the culture. And if he does that and gets the fans properly on board, could quickly become a fan favourite next season. And I can't wait to see him playing in a red shirt. I know I'm probably getting overexcited, I'm overhyping Wan Bissaka, but the more I read about the kid, the more I can't help it. You know, he's got a hard working ethic, he's down to earth, he's humble, he's worked for his opportunities, he's hungry, driven, ready to develop, ready for the bigger stage. It's hard not to be excited about Wan Bissaka, and for all the signings we've made since Fergie retired, your Di Marias, your Falcaos, oh Jesus Christ, I don't know what to list them all, it's going to make me depressed. A player like Wan Bissaka, who's 21, a real talent coming through, clearly not at the top of his game, they're the sorts of signings I love to see United make. They're the ones that get you excited because you're not signing a star, you're signing somebody with the potential of becoming a star at Old Trafford. And look at Cristiano Ronaldo, that's the best example that we've got of it. And maybe Wan Bissaka can follow in his footsteps and fulfill the potential which he clearly has. But I'm buzzing about it. It's been officially announced. Wan Bissaka is a United player. Let me know what you think about what Wan Bissaka might struggle with next year, what you're worried about, what you're excited about. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Wan Bissaka's move to United. But I'm excited. I think you all should be too. Until next time though, take it easy.